Pronoun is the part of speech that replaces a noun to pertain to person, event, place, idea, thing, or animal, or the acronym PEPITA. The nominatives are the pronouns that are used as subject in a sentence. First person singular I or ako is yo. First person plural we or tayo is nosotros. Second person you, ikaw, or kayo is either informal or formal. The informal to, take note of the accent, is used to refer to you or ikaw, a friend or someone of the same age group. The informal plural form is vosotros, kayo, but this is used only in peninsular Spain. The formal form usted and ustedes are used to address politely an older person, a stranger, or a person of authority. Third person singular siya are él or he, take note of the accent, and ella or she. Plural forms are ellos when they are all males, and ellas when they are all females. When the third persons are a mixed gender, ellos is used. Object pronouns are those that are used as receivers of the action in a sentence. These are the direct object pronouns. Me, for me or ako. Te, for you informal or ikaw. Lo, for you formal or ikaw. Lo, for him. La, for her or siya. Plural forms are nos, for us or tayo. Vos, for you informal, kayo. Los, for you, kayo. Los or las, to them or sila, depending on the gender. Objects of prepositions are those that are used in combination with a preposition. These are usually used in the passive voice. These are me for me or ko, te for you informal or mo, le for you formal or mo, le for him or her or siya, nos for us or natin or namin, os for you informal or ninyo, les for you or ninyo, les also for them, nila. Possessive pronouns are those that express ownership or possession. Possessive pronouns are either before or after the object. These are the possessive pronouns before the object. Example, the object is book or libro. Say, mi libro or my book, aking libro. Tu or your informal, iyong. Take note, there's no accent for you. Su for your formal or iyong. Su for his or her or kanyang. Nuestro, our, ating. Vuestro, your informal, kaninyong. Sus, your, sa inyong. Sus, their, kanilang. These, on the other hand, are the possessive pronouns after the object. Example, the object is libro, book. The book is mine. El libro is mío, mine, akin. El libro es tuyo, tuya, yours, informal, yo, sa iyo. Suyo, suya, yours, formal, inyo, sa inyo. Suyo, suya, his or hers, kanya. Nuestro or nuestra depending on the gender, ours, atin. vuestro o vuestra, yours informal, iyo sa inyo, suyos o suyas, yours, inyo sa inyo, de ellos o de ellas, theirs, kanila. Reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and the object are the same person. These are me, I myself, ako mismo, te, you yourself informal, ikaw mismo, se, you yourself formal, ikaw mismo, se, he himself or she herself, siya mismo, nos, we ourselves, tayo mismo, os, you yourselves informal, kayo mismo, se, you yourselves, kayo mismo, se, they themselves, sila mismo. Object pronouns are those that are used as receivers of the action in a sentence. These are the direct object pronouns. Me, for me or ako, te for you informal or ikaw, lo for you formal or ikaw, lo for him, la for her or siya. Plural forms are nos for us or tayo, vos for you informal, kayo, los for you, kayo, los or las to them or sila depending on the gender. Direct object pronouns agree in gender and number with that of the noun they replace. Look at these examples. Necesito la sombrilla, I need a hat. La necesito, la is used to replace la sombrilla, I need it. Gustamos los trajes de baño, we like the bathrobes. Los gustamos, we like those. Los is used to replace los trajes de baño. Llamamos a las chicas, we call the girls. Las llamamos, we call them. Las is used to replace a las chicas. Instead of saying the entire las chicas, just use las to mean them. Direct object pronouns are usually placed immediately before the conjugated verb, as in these examples. ¿Dónde ves a Jorge y Adela? Where do you see Jorge and Adela? Los veo en la clase. So the pronoun los is placed before the conjugated verb veo. I see them in class. ¿Visitas a tu profesora? Do you visit your professor? Sí, la visito. Yes, I visit her. La is placed before the conjugated verb visito. In constructions that use the infinitives to plus verb of the present progressive forms, the direct object pronouns may either precede the conjugated verb or be attached to the infinitive or the present participle, the NDO form. Take note that when attaching the direct object pronoun to the NDO form, a written accent is used. Take note that the Spanish does not follow the English STVDO or subject transitive verb direct object pattern. In Spanish, the pattern is SDOTV, subject, direct object, conjugated verb. The direct object precedes the conjugated verb. Thus, I love you is not translated yo amo tú. Instead, it is yo te amo. The direct object precedes the conjugated verb amo. Or, the direct object is attached to the infinitive amarte, yo amarte. Also, the direct object pronoun may be attached to the infinitive or the present participle or NDO form of the verb. As in the following examples, Ana está llamando a Pepa, Ana is calling Pepa. Ana está llamándola, or Ana la está llamando. In negative sentences, the direct object pronoun is placed between no and the conjugated verb, and the object may also be attached to the infinitive or to the present participle, the NDO form, in negative sentences. Example, to say Adolfo is not going to buy it, you may either say Adolfo no lo va a comprar, that is, lo is placed between no and the conjugated verb, or Adolfo no va a comprarlo, lo is placed or attached to the infinitive, comprar. An indirect object pronoun indicates to or from whom an action is carried out. In Spanish, the indirect object pronoun is also used to indicate from whom something is bought, borrowed, or taken away. The indirect object pronouns are identical to the direct object pronouns except the third person singular and plural forms. Indirect object pronouns agree in number with the noun to which they refer. Unlike the direct object pronoun, there is no gender agreement. The sentence Le escribo un poema, or I write him or her a poem, or I write a poem for him or her. Le means him or her, or for him or her, the indirect object in the sentence. Also, les doy mis balones means I give you all my balloons, or I give my balloons to you. Les means you or to you, which is also the indirect object in the sentence. Te vendo el bate means I sell you a bat, or I sell a bat to you. Te is the indirect object. Le regalo mis libros de español al profesor means I give my Spanish books to the professor. Le here pertains to the professor, the indirect object in the sentence. Again, similar to the direct object pronouns, indirect object pronouns usually precede the conjugated verb, as you can see in these examples. Le muestro a ella una foto. A ella here is inserted to emphasize that le pertains to a ella instead of el or usted. This means I show her a photograph. Te vendo mi estéreo. I'll sell you my stereo. Te pertains to you. Os canto una canción de amor. Os here means you. I sing you a song of love. Les damos un dinero a los pobres. We give them money, that is to the poor. Les pertains to them, the poor. In negative instances, the indirect object is placed between no and the conjugated verb. So as you can see, I won't give you my ball would be no te doy mi pelota. Positively, I give you my ball would be te doy mi pelota. The structure is the same. The pronoun precedes the conjugated verb. Don't leave me your problems. No me dejas tus problemas. Do not lead them to danger. No ellos lleva a los peligros. In constructions with an infinitive or possessive form, the indirect object pronouns may either precede the conjugated verb or be attached to the infinitive or the present participle, the NDO form of the verb. To write Andres wants to teach us to play football. Andres nos quiere enseñar a jugar al fútbol, where nos is us, the indirect object. Quiere, wants, is the main verb. Enseñar is the infinitive, to teach. To play is jugar al fútbol, football. Again, nos here is placed before the conjugated verb, in this case quiere, wants. The second way is to attach the indirect object to the infinitive, in this case enseñar. So you'll have enseñarnos. Andrés quiere enseñarnos a jugar al fútbol. To say I am telling you the truth, where you is the indirect object, you write le estoy diciendo a usted la verdad. You may insert a usted to emphasize that le here pertains to a usted instead of él or ella. And the third way is to attach the indirect object pronoun to the present participle, to the NDO form. In this case, diciendo, so you drop O and you attach le. So you'll have diciendole. Estoy diciéndole la verdad. The familiar plural form os or vosotros is used only in Spain. In Latin America, les or ustedes is used as the plural of de. The sentence I sing you songs of love and pain is an informal one. So for you, the indirect object, you use les. So you have les canto las canciones por amor y dolor. Also, to say I pray a prayer for you informally, you write les digo una oración. Possessive pronouns may either be before or after the noun. Those before the nouns are mi, tú, su, nuestro, nuestra, vuestro, vuestra, and sus. On the other hand, those after the noun are mío o mía, tuyo o tuya, suyo o suya, de él, de ella, nuestro, nuestra, vuestro, vuestra, de ustedes, de ellos, de ellas. Short form possessive pronouns are those that are placed before the nouns as object of possession. Take note that the possessive pronoun agrees in number of the object it possesses. In the case of my classes are large, mis clases son grandes, mis agrees with classes, plural form. So you see in the following examples, the possessive pronouns are placed before the objects being possessed. Take note as well that the possessive pronouns agree in number of the object. Like in the case of classes, which is in the plural form, the possessive pronoun is also in the plural form, mis. So we have the following. My classes are large, mis clases son grandes. Your food is delicious, my friend. Tu comida es delicioso, mi amigo. Your language is exquisite, sir. Su idioma es exquisito, señor. His boyfriend is also hers. Su novio es de ella también. Our house is a nipa hut. Nuestra casa es una cabaña con techo de paja. Vuestra música suena bien. Your music sounds good. Sus respuestas son correctos. Your answers are correct. Sus coches son nuevos. Their cars are new. Sus vestidas son elegantes. Their dresses are elegant. The construction de plus noun can also be used to indicate possession. This is the equivalent of the English apostrophe S. So Raul's book is El Libro de Raúl. Raul's book is interesting, or the book of Raúl is interesting, is El Libro de Raúl es interesante. Laura's sister is La Hermana de Laura. So Laura's sister studies law. La hermana de Laura estudia derechos. The winner's face, la cara de la ganadora. The winner's face is very beautiful. La cara de la ganadora es muy bella. When the preposition de is followed by the definite article el, it contracts to del. De plus el equals del. So del profesor is the professors, that's professor apostrophe S, or of the professor. So to say the professor's lectures are interesting, las conferencias del profesor son interesantes. The aroma of the coffee is el aroma del café, of the coffee, del café. The aroma of the coffee is inviting. El aroma del café es apetitoso. The bridge's color, el color del puente. The bridge's color is gold. El color del puente es oro. The long form possessive pronoun is placed after the noun. Similar to the genitives or short form, the long form agrees with the noun in gender and in number. So to pertain to my parents and siblings, that is plural, use the possessive pronoun míos. That is, my parents and siblings, los padres y hermanos míos. My parents and siblings live in Camarines Sur. Los padres y hermanos míos viven en Camarines Sur. Your room number is 120 at the second floor. La habitación tuya es el número 120 en el piso segundo. Our country is a gift from God. El país nuestro es un regalo de Dios. As with the short form of su, singular, sus, plural, the long form suyo or suya or suyos, suyas can be replaced by the construction de plus pronoun in order to clarify the identity of the possessor. So, un cheque suyo can mean a check of yours or a check of his or a check of hers. So, to clarify that the check belongs to him, un cheque de él is preferred to clarify that it is a check of his. So, in the same way, las cuentas suyas can mean the check belonging to all of you or the check belonging to them, all males, or to them, all females. So to clarify that the check belongs to them, all males, you may use de ellos, or the check belonging to them, all females, you may use de ellas. So you may say las cuentas de ellas to mean that the checks belong to them, all females. The long forms possessive adjectives may be used as pronouns. In such instances, the definite article is used with the possessive and the noun is omitted. So, our traveler's checks are in pesetas, which means los cheques de viajero nuestros son en pesetas, can be shortened to ours are in pesetas, omitting the noun cheques de viajero. So you will have only los nuestros son en pesetas. Similarly, in the sentence, la habitación mía no tiene aire acondicionado, which means my room doesn't have air conditioning, the noun la habitación that is, may be dropped to have only la mía, which already clarifies that la here pertains to the room, habitación. So you have la mía no tiene aire acondicionado, mine doesn't have air conditioning. It's clear already. Like adjectives, possessive pronouns may be clarified in the third person form, such as el suyo, la suya, los suyos, las suyas, by using the definite article de plus pronoun, that is el o la de usted, los o las de ellos, etc. The definite article must agree in gender and in number of the noun it replaces. In ordinary English discourse, the noun may be dropped when the context of the possessive pronoun is clear, as in the case of the sentence, yours is more luxurious than mine is. The room, which is replaced by yours, may be dropped. This is true also in Spanish, such that the sentence la suya habitación es más lujosa que la mía. Habitación, the noun habitación, may be dropped. But when the context of suya is not clear, such that it may mean él or ella or usted, there is a need to use the definitive la de usted instead of the broad la suya. When the pronoun is used after the verb ser, the article is usually omitted. So to say the pleasure is mine, you can either say el gusto es el mío or drop el to have only el gusto es mío. The key is yours, esta llave es la tuya or esta llave es tuya. The children are ours, los niños son los nuestro, or better yet, los niños son nuestro. The prize is hers, el premio es el de ella, or el premio es de ella. These songs are yours, estas canciones son las de ustedes, or estas canciones son de ustedes. Spanish has two kinds of object pronouns besides direct and indirect object. These are either unstressed pronouns, which never receive emphasis and always appear with a verb, or stressed pronouns, which may be stressed and often duplicate unstressed pronouns to achieve emphasis. These always follow a preposition. So, in the case of pronouns used as object of preposition, take note of those that have accent. In the case of the first person singular, me, and the third person singular male, él. Not all prepositions take the prepositional forms given here. With con, that is with the special forms conmigo, with me, contigo, with you, consigo, with oneself are used. With como, or like, excepto, salvo, except, and según, according to, yo and tú are used instead of me and ti. Yo and tú are also used in combinations of pronouns such as entre tú y yo, between you and me. When nos follows a first-person plural form in imperative constructions, the verb form in the present indicative form loses the final S. So in the case of let's sit down, that is sentémonos, which is a combination of the present indicative form sentemos, S is dropped, and nos is added. Also, let's go is vámonos. The first vowel is accented, but here S of the present indicative form vamos is dropped and nos is added. When the object of preposition os, which is used only in peninsular Spain, follows the second person plural imperative, the verb form loses the final D, like in the case of be quiet, kallaos. It's a combination of kalyad without D plus os. Also, be up, levantaos is a combination of the imperative levantad without D plus os. The objective pronoun se is also used as a reflexive pronoun. First, se makes the verb impersonal. In the following cases, Spanish is spoken, se habla español is Spanish itself is spoken, se dice, it itself is said, se cree, it itself is believed. Also, se is used in a reflexive meaning as a direct object, such as in the following cases: Pedro se lava, Pedro washes himself. El se caliente, he warms himself. Ella se bañó a las 6, she bathed herself at 6. Se bañó, she bathed, that is, she took a bath herself. Also, se is used in reflexive meaning as an indirect object, as in the following cases: Juan se peina el cabello, Juan combs his hair himself. Pablo se lava las manos, Pablo washes his hands himself. Él se caliente las manos, he warms his hands himself. Finally, se is used as an object pronoun in place of le or les, as in the following cases: Le doy el libro, I give him the book. Le pertains to him, the direct object. El libro is the indirect object. Se lo doy is the shortened version of I give it to him. Se here pertains to him, the direct object. Lo pertains to the indirect object, the book.